Witam was serdecznie. Ulala, śmigam dalej. Chodź, Andrea, wyciągnij może sobie broń. Ale fajnie, że ja mam chociaż taką dobrą broń. Tutaj. Gdzieś w ogóle z tą stacją lecieliśmy. I tu. I do kokpitu. Więc my wysiadamy. I odblokuj.
Textbook there. We're free.
I na planetę.
Hey Dad, want to hear a poem I wrote? It's called a haiku. I just read about them.
A haiku, huh? That sounds exciting. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Otwórz mapę. Skanuj. Wyląduj. Strasznie skomplikowany, żeby wylądować.
Captain, landing procedure initiated.
Space is cold and dark. Starships fly there like comets, carrying us home.
That's what carry a copy.
Wysiądź. Co muszę w ogóle teraz zrobić? Udać się do miasta. Do miasta. Podróżuj. Gdzie to cholerne miasto jest? Matko Boska! Obszar lądowania, miasto, proszę ciebie, podróżuj tam. Proszę, proszę.
Hold
Mamy.
very still.
Matko
Choose
Boska.
your words carefully. They will determine how long you live.
We are no threat to House Baroon, I promise you.
You have no right to be here. You will tell me how you found this place. But it was lost. All communication ceased. There was no sign of it.
Indeed it did. The Oracle is perhaps the least of our problems, I'm afraid. Forrest, I think we need not fear our guest. Perhaps, in this time of need, the Great Serpent has delivered us a gift.
Counselor, with due respect, we have not had unannounced visitors here in generations. It is a clear breach of security.
I do not disagree, and I know that security, in whatever small form we can grasp it, is of paramount importance. But you must acknowledge the timing is curious. And perhaps our guest's intent should be determined before we take further action.
Sprawdzimy tu wasza stacja.
We've received the automated transmission, but you are certainly not who we expected to find.
Great serpent,
What's happening again?
hear me.
Speaker, we are here!
We have reached out to you to seek guidance in our hour of need. Oh, great serpent, is that you?
Jak
Is it your
to my...
presence I feel? I feel something, yet I see nothing. Is this a test? What do you require of me? Great serpent, I have done all that I can. The scaled citadel itself has been transformed to petition you. I know that all must serve, but I need more. I require guidance. Take pity on us and reveal the way forward.
It cannot be coincidence that you arrive here now. Our leader, Anasko Varun, he has appeared like this over and over. So many of our people have been trapped in this state, these vortex phantoms. But usually they are hostile and lash out. Anasko is different. If only we could hear his voice, some reassurance that all is not lost. You could hear him. Despite the sightings, none have heard the word from Anasko in all this time, yet you claim to. Do not toy with me. Not about this. If you speak truth, you must prove it. What did he say?
Wszyscy muszą służyć.
The serpent.
He said that? I heard nothing. Given the gravity of the situation, surely there is no way you would joke about such a thing.
It is no joke. The experiment was a secret, even to many of our own people. Truly, you did hear Anasko. You have been chosen. People of House Varun, hear me. We have asked the Great Serpent for deliverance from our calamity, and he has answered us. This outsider has been chosen as the most unlikely vessel for the Great Serpent's divine provenance.
Dokładnie to ja.
Will help save us all.
Z wielkim wężem.
There is no denying you have been sent here as a sign. You must help us. But there are precepts that must be followed, principles that must be obeyed. Even in these dire circumstances, we cannot turn from Jinan Varun's teachings. You will be granted safe passage through Dazra and the lands beyond. No harm will come to you. On that, you have my word.
Okej, dzięki
You
wielkie.
can have my assurance that your compatriot here will also remain unharmed. But to truly aid us, you must become part of House Varun. This is not a thing done lightly, and it cannot be taken back. Will you commit to helping us by becoming one of the promised?
Luzik.
Excellent. Please, come with me. Forgive me for not introducing myself. I am Malibor Dulkev, a member of the High Council of House Varun. I have been asked to represent the council in this...
No, I will not.
Kurde. Skisiłem. Wow. No nic. Tak to zrobimy, to tak to zrobimy.
Have you lost your mind? Is there even a mind to lose?
Nie mam pojęcia, o czym ty
You
mówisz.
cannot possibly mean that. What is there to say? It is good to know that you understand at least that much. I do know. I am going to do my best to get past this and continue our journey together. Then you should turn around and walk away. It would do you well to reflect on how you arrived here. What you want from your future.
Kurde, tam ktoś we mnie strzela. Przez przypadek go uderzyłem. Ja pierdzie... Znowu... To było dobre. Misję. Pokaż na mapie. I tutaj ciach i podróżuj. Wow. I znowu jestem w tym samym miejscu. Kuźwa mać. Misję. Masakra. Misję. Ciebie robimy. Pokaż mnie ciebie na mapie. Ja chcę tutaj, tu, dokładnie tutaj. I podróżuj. Masakra! A nie, muszę tu iść. Ach. Nie, bo tam był też taki mały znaczek na górze. I myślałem, że tam muszę iść. Ale nie. Jest większy znaczek.
Hold very still.
We are no threat to house.
You have no right,
Dobra.
but it was lost.
Indeed it did. Forrest,
Counselor,
I do not but you must and perhaps we received the
Great Serpent,
what's happening again?
hear me.
Speaker. We are here.
Kim jesteś?
Great Serpent, I know.
Great Serpent.
Our leader, and so many of our people. If only you could.
Tak, ja go słyszałem.
Do not toy with me.
He said that?
It is no joke.
To nie jest
Access
żart.
to the city, truly.
Hello.
Dobra, i nie atakujemy.
People of House Varud, hear me. We have asked the Great Serpent for deliverance from our calamity, and he has answered us. This outsider has been chosen as the most unlikely vessel for the Great Serpent's divine providence.
Nie wiem, jak tutaj słowa się broni.
Will help save us all. Outsider, please. There is no denying you have been sent here as a sign. You must help us. But there are precepts that must be followed, principles that must be obeyed. Even in these dire circumstances, we cannot turn from Jinan Varun's teachings. You will be granted safe passage through Dazra and the lands beyond. No harm will come to you. On that, you have my word. You even have my assurance that compatriot here will, but to truly aid us.
Dobra.
Excellent. Please, forgive me for not introducing myself. I am Malibor Dulkin. I have been asked to, without our leader. I fear he has led House Varun. He believed you. I should perhaps, if you
Chłopie
can...
złoty, zaproś mnie tylko.
Not long, though. Jamal and I had only been a part of the... It has been quite a challenge to... Lovek, on the other hand, has served them. Any decision about House Varun is the speaker's to make. But we offer perspectives and... Or, at least that is how... Once this is all behind us. And that depends a great deal on who you ask. Generations ago, some amongst us, the schism within our... They are, of course. Please, enter our city. You have my word that you will not be harmed.
Okej.
Our situation is dire. Go away.
Znowu się kurde zawiesiło. Podążaj za Maliborem Dulkehen.
Promise you avoid the citizens of Dusza.
An outsider here. So many have been displaced. How many more have been lost?
Chosen by the serpent's hill. How dare you! I'll be taking that back, thief.
Panie.
House Varun needs you. He has led House... He believed he was on... I should perhaps not. If you can hear...
O, teraz. Trzeba było jeszcze raz z nim porozmawiać. Jakie błędy są w tej grze. To jest...
Open the gate!
Otwieraj.
Must have someone revealed for now.
Kurde,
Surely you saw the scaled citadel as you arrived. It was the center of an explosion of sorts that has annihilated most of our city. We have lost many of our brothers and sisters. I believe we are still in danger.
Counselor, what is the meaning of this?
Is there a problem, Makula?
This city is in shambles. The speaker is missing, and here you are leading some outsider through our sacred space? Why allow this husk to defile our city? Have we not lost enough?
The outsider was guided here by the great serpent himself. Soon, serpent willing, they will be one of us. But I can be sure and pass your concerns on to the rest of the High Council, if you wish. I apologize for the interruption. There is a ritual intended for converts to the Promised that has not been performed in generations. We are fortunate that there are those still alive who remember the old ways and have remained prepared for such a moment as this.
Okej. Będę mógł amunicję kupić.
Herald Inaza, I suspected we might find you here waiting.
I saw the ship landing. I knew immediately that I would be needed.
Indeed you are. This is Inaza Kaisir, Herald of the Serpent. She will guide you through the ritual. I am needed elsewhere, but I assure you that you are in good hands.
Dobra, siema.
So, the great serpent sends you to me. No, Husk. that walk the serpent's path. To enter this sacred cave, there is no turning back.
Dobrze,
You
ty
will
se
be
porozmawiaj, ja se
forever changed.
rachunki opłacę.
This is a path you must walk of your own free will, alone. Will you step forward and emerge anointed, one of the promised? Then enter, and I shall guide you along the serpent's path. But this is a journey you must undertake alone. Your escort cannot follow.
Droga ku węża.
I will await you at the end of the circle. Before House VIII, there were humans. First on Earth, then scattered among the stars. And like all humans, they were lost souls, wandering in the dark, looking for a path.
Nie bój się, ja mam latarkę.
One particular colony ship housed several hundred of these souls. They were each alone and isolated, individual tiny flames that could be snuffed out at a moment's notice.
Dmuchnie świecę.
But Jinan encountered a great servant and was given the gift of knowledge. They followed his guidance and his light, and they cast aside the burden. He shared his knowledge with those around him and lit the way for them. And thus, House VIII was born. Now you too have the chance to cast aside your burdens. To
Czuję się jakoś jak w Tomb Raider.
that holds you back.
Nic nie ma.
The people's hopes and fears and dreams were entrusted to the great serpent. They made the leap of faith that brought House VIII to greatness. You may now follow in their footsteps and take that same leap. Embrace the great serpent, and he will embrace you.
Wykonaj skok wiary. Geronimo! Był to skok wiary? Chyba nie. Z drugiej strony... O kur... Nie, wychodzimy stąd.
The people of House VIII settled this world, at first in these very caves. Jinan himself slept among them in these shelters. It was here that he spread the word of the serpent, and it was here that the people of House VIII first understood the truth of the shrouding, the great serpent's return. It was here that the people of House VIII first understood the truth of their place in the universe. He will encircle the universe he created, and all those who do not follow will be cast into shadow. And the people weighed this knowledge against their former lives, and saw how they had been blessed despite the difficult new life that awaited them. You too would do well to feel that solace amidst the pain. Until that day comes, we are the voice and the hands of the great serpent. Our every act a sacrifice to hasten his return. Make now a sacrifice to prove your devotion. And remember, whether in life or in death, all must serve.
Coś tam jest. Nie wiem. Dobra. Idziemy dalej.
Let us begin the final ritual. While lands
Far Cry.
have stood before the great serpent, we can all feel his presence. To solidify his bond, you are presented with a simple choice. Before you on this dais are several items. They represent different aspects of House Varun's connection to the Great Serpent. Pick the two that call to you. Place them on the altars. Offerings to the Great Serpent that he may fill you with his spirit and make you promise.
Umiesz siłę. A tutaj umiesz wytrwałość. Siemka.
And so you arise, one of the promised of House Varun. Did you feel the Great Serpent working within you?
Uwierz mi, że nie czuję.
Feel born anew?
Nope. Po gorącej kąpieli się lepiej czuję.
Do not be troubled. You attempted at least some of what was asked of you. In time, you will feel his presence. Through strength and perseverance, House Varun will triumph over all that stands in its way. I grant you the title of Vindicator. All will know you. All will trust you. Above us, in the grand ship morning, jewel of the Varun fleet, the High Council awaits your arrival. Serve them. Serve the Great Serpent. All must serve.
Wszyscy muszą służyć. Dobra, z kimś tam musimy porozmawiać. Cockpit. Ziomkuś.
You need something. Welcome, Vindicator. You stand before what remains of the High Council, advisors to Nazco Varun. We are all that is left after the disaster that has befallen our people. I represent House Dulkef. Jamal is from House Kadik, and we are joined by Lovek of House Vital. We are, all of us, hopeful that your arrival in Dazra and your clear connection to Nazco Varun, for the first time in weeks, represent some semblance of hope. But you do. We have only seen brief glimpses of him since the incident. But you heard him speak. How can that be taken as anything other than providence? Please, just allow us a moment to explain.
By all means, Malabor. I can't wait to see how you spin this.
Please, can we just for a moment...
Can we just for a moment what? Discuss whether or not to allow the first convert to House Varun since before any of us were born? A bit late on that, it seems.
You were not there. You did not see Anasco. It felt different.
I am glad we
Already
haven't,
wasted so much time.
especially a whole.
Dobra.
Course great. The great serpent.
Przeklikamy.
I suppose that is regardless.
Do not waste time with more bickering.
In this case, it is an incredible.
Suffers with every passing moment.
All the same, I know we.
Please, Malabor. Do go on.
Anasco Varun, like his father before him, has relied on the teachings of Jinan to guide us. Anasco wondered if perhaps it was time to seek guidance directly from the Great Serpent, and so sought a means of reaching out.
Perhaps he found the teachings inadequate.
Careful, Kadik. You tread on dangerous ground.
I mean nothing by it. We simply were never consulted on the matter and do not know the full motive.
The point is that a series of experiments have taken place over the years, utilizing grav drive technology to hopefully make direct contact with the Great Serpent, similar to Jinan Varun's initial meeting.
And then something went wrong.
We do not know what happened. We were not inside the Scaled Citadel at the time.
Had we been, we wouldn't be standing here now. We'd be like the rest of them.
A great tide of energy emanated from the Scaled Citadel and swept across Dusza. Much was destroyed in its wake. Those caught in the blast have been left in a state of confusion, trapped halfway between our universe and the vortex. The Citadel itself remains in such a state, right there and yet beyond our reach. We can only assume that the experiment is still running, somehow preventing us from entering the Citadel. We cannot get in, so we cannot stop it. We're beginning to lose hope before you arrived.
Chłopie złoty.
Your arrival and your interaction with Anasco shows that he can still be saved. A plan had been devised to access the Citadel, but the work stalled. Clearly, it is time to move forward with it. The current head of our science team, Ekris, should be in Jinan Plaza down below us, towards the Citadel. Tell him about your experience with Anasco, and that work on the morning device must proceed.
Dobra. Ekris. Gdzie tu, chłopie złoty, jesteś? Do miasta.
Do you know the scientists out of Hamadi Station?
The old married couple? Azad and Shireen, if I remember.
Yes? Well, look who it is. You have made quite a stir, and given the state of
Co ty,
things,
chłopie złoty, masz w
that
nosie?
is a singular accomplishment. To what do I owe the honor, Vindicator? Did he now? How magnanimous. But approval is approval, and I will gladly take it. I will spare you much of the technical detail, as I confess that pieces of it I barely understand myself. One cannot help but notice the energy field around the Scaled Citadel. Until we can get through it, we cannot shut down the experiment inside, and it has proved quite impossible to get through. We had the beginnings of a plan to build a makeshift contraption to redirect grav drive energy to see if we could penetrate the barrier, but the project came to a halt. Politics got in the way. Every one of the houses needs to contribute, and every one realized they could potentially use it for leverage. What should have been a cooperative effort turned contentious. Easy decisions became negotiations. And so, construction never began. We have sat here, staring at this disaster as supplies pile up for well over a week now. Serpent help us, it is infuriating.
Nie ma sensu narzekać.
Indeed. All must serve. I believe I've done enough complaining for now. Time to get to work. If you're here, the council has likely sent word to the houses that it's time to stop the infighting. I doubt it will be enough. I need to oversee construction here, make sure things are built to specifications. If you could follow up with the houses, that may speed up the process.
Wątpię, czy mnie
The first
posłuchają.
convert in generations. The only one to have heard from the speaker since the disaster. Oh, I think they will listen. House VIII owes us access codes for the city power grid. It's the only way to guarantee enough power to activate the device. House Kadik was supposed to provide a young scientist named Sahima to help me. She had at least some experience with the original Citadel experiment. No idea why they refused to send her. And Hasmek, the new elder of House Dulkef, he has been distant, guarded. He claims to have vital information about an important component of the experiment, but has withheld it until now. Help me get what we need, and we will see what we can do for the speaker, and for House Varun. And I may have something that can help you in whatever trials the Serpent puts before you as we navigate this. We have been really overwhelmed.
Dobra, zrobiliśmy
over the
to.
last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research on the camp. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If
Ale
there were
odcinek.
some less disastrous way we could. I know. I have lost friends and colleagues. We have encountered. Second, we have learned that these horrors and their spawn. We have managed to collect
Majster,
enough to
on
run
mnie
experiments.
zanudza.
While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should. And depending on how you combine said.
Nara. Poziom 39. Mogę to dać? Czas trwania krytyczny, nieautomatyczny w broni. Większa sceny zasięg przy oddawaniu strzału bez celowania. O, proszę. Odblokuj. Ja w ogóle coś dostałem, ale nawet nie wiem, co ja dostałem. Mam nałożone. Pasuje też. Może jakąś broń, nieważne. Ja mam wszystko, co ja mam. Dobra. To na tym zakończę ten odcinek, a w następnym jedziemy dalej. Może się będzie to więcej dziać. To trzymajcie się i do zobaczenia.